What's going on, everyone? This is John, the Wolf of Ecom. I'm here with my friend David Moreno, who I actually began this ecom journey with just over 3 years ago in mid 2018. He's doing some really interesting stuff, so I wanted to bring him on to share what is working for him in ecom today, and also just to share a story and get him in front of you so you guys get to know him as well. So, David, why don't you give yourself a proper introduction, my friend?
Hey, John, happy to be here with you, like having a couple of conversations, sharing stuff. So I started ecom actually in 2017, and during the whole year, I only did $4,700. I was mostly focused in the US, and then in middle 2018, I joined Gabriel Mastermind, where we met each other and we were able to mastermind more. And during 2018 actually, I did $32,000 the whole year. And then everything changes when I joined the mastermind, because I was able to meet more people. I was able to meet you, Steven, Preston, and the whole gang. And then during 2019, I was able to do $1.2 million the whole year in revenue. And my life changed. I used to be a worker. I used to work in my cubicle, and it was hard for me. Like, most of the people believe that being a Colombian, it's easier like to start e-commerce, but it's not that way. Like, it took me a lot of time just to be able to figure it out, everything. And now I live with ecom, like from ecom. So it was crazy, man. Like, when I started, I didn't have a lot of information like in Spanish. So I had to join the masterminds and courses from people in English. So for me, it was even harder because my first language is Spanish. Then my second language is English. But this wasn't like a barrier for me. Like, I knew that I wanted to do ecom. I knew that I wanted to live this life that I was looking in Instagram, in Facebook, like the people who were having success. And I convinced myself that I was gonna make it, that I was gonna be successful. And now I have this community with more than 300 people that actually learn from me, and they are changing their lives with e-commerce. And we are mostly focused right now in the Latin American market, which is a huge opportunity for all people, even the people that don't speak Spanish, because these markets are super huge. The cost of entry is super low, so there's a huge opportunity for all people.
And before this, you actually had a really good job in video games, right?
Yeah, correct. So I was working as a sales guy for a localization gaming company, which is a company that actually translates the titles in different languages. I was making a good amount of money. I was making 4K at that time, and 4K, being a Colombian, living in Colombia, was a lot of money.
Great life, man. You could live a really freaking good life on 4K a month in USD in Colombia.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like my ecom hustle were growing. So I was expanding my team too, and I was able to catch the 4K super easy, super simple with my team. Then there was a time where I had to make a decision, either to keep working with this job, or either focus on the life that I want to live, like chasing my dream, chasing my goals. And I quit my job and I focus on e-commerce because it's something that is growing every single year. Like the pandemic actually was the best thing for ecom that could happen. I'm not gonna lie, like this
it accelerated it.
Yeah, accelerated everything, like super exponential acceleration. I don't know how to say that in English, but it was so huge, so big that a lot of people changed their lives due to the pandemic. So I came from, like, I do have studies. I went to the university. I even have a specialization. My father, he used to work with for this huge company, and he was telling me to do pretty much the same. But I had this entrepreneurial thing inside me. I knew that I wanted to have my own job, that I wanted to work for myself, and that's why I started with e-commerce. And e-commerce is something that is growing. Like, it's not how do you say that? Is there's still
It's not
has
shrinking
a lot of
or slowing
yeah.
down. Like the industry's exponentially
It's growing every
man.
single year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a huge opportunity for anybody who actually want to do the job. You're gonna have to be disciplined. You have to be committed. But eventually, if you do the things that John or that I teach, you're gonna have results no matter what. Like it's not, if you are not gonna have results, it's a matter of you're gonna put and take action until you have success, until you have results. So it really depends on the people.
Do you have a lot of people around you? Because you're in Medellin, which is fairly international. Like there's a lot of expats and backpack laptops lifestyle kind of people from outside of Colombia living there. Did you have before like a circle of friends that were on the same track, or were you surrounded by people that maybe had like university education and we're going the regular route, the 9 to 5, or Colombia where you usually work like 8 to 6 days a week sometimes? It's crazy, man. So what was it like, your environment?
When I started, I only met people and new people that were actually going to work for jobs, pretty much. I didn't know a lot of people that were entrepreneurs or were starting their own companies. So I was doing the same path. I was doing my university, then I graduated, I get this job, and I was super happy. I'm not gonna lie. I was having a success in my job, but my wife, she was an entrepreneur. She was working the laptop lifestyle, and she was sending me pictures in the ocean, in the pool, traveling. No. And I was like, oh my God, I want to live the same. And I'm here in my office, in my cubicle. I'm not doing anything for my life. I was bringing super good revenues for this company because I was the best sales guy that this company had. And then I remember that I went and I had a conversation with my boss because I was getting married, and I asked for a raise, and they only gave me like $30 raise for a month, right? And I was bringing 20% of the revenues for this company, and that's where something clicked and something changed in my mind. And I knew that I needed to do something different, because if I wanted to change my life, I needed to do something different for the next 30, 60, 90 days. And then I started with e-commerce, and e-commerce has been a super ride for me. Like, it changed my life completely. And now I'm super happy and super grateful that I live the laptop lifestyle. Like, I can travel the world with my laptop, with my phone, and still make revenues, still make money anywhere, like on the go, which is crazy. And this is something that anybody could do. Like, it's only a matter of discipline, take action, take massive imperfect action. That's what I tell my students to do. And it's something that is working. Like, I don't see why people doesn't trust in this system, in this new way of lifestyle. And this is something that is growing, and this is something that is gonna stay here for a long time, because e-commerce and dropshipping or anything related with e-com, it's gonna keep growing for the next 20, 50 years at least.
What have been some of the biggest challenges you ran into along the way? Like, what were some of the early problems you hit? Maybe getting access to merchants accounts, not having a US company yet, things like that. And then once you got going, once you started seeing success, where were your biggest challenges in that second and third year in the business?
So for me, it was super hard because being a Colombian, you have a lot of restrictions, mostly because I was focusing in the US market. So in order for me to be able to sell products in the US, I needed to have an LLC, because that way I was able to apply to some merchants and then be able to process payments. And it was super hard and it was super expensive. I'm not gonna lie. Like, my first LLC, I started this LLC because I needed, pretty much. I didn't know anybody selling products to Colombia, to Latin American markets. I only knew people selling products to the US, and that's where I focused. So I had to start a new LLC. At that time, it was 2017, I guess, at the end of 2017. I was able to get my first LLC. Then I was able to get my first merchant, which was PayPal and Stripe. And then I was able to process payments. And my first year, I did like 4,700, nothing crazy. I was still working for this company, a full-time employee. Then during 2018, I was able to process 32K. And for me, it was huge. It was a lot of money. Like being a Colombian and being able to process 32K was fucking huge. And then something in my mindset changed. Just because I was getting some results, I was making money in US dollars, and that was fucking insane for me. And then I focus on the business, I focus on systems, I focus on spending money to be able to share ideas with people like John, with people like Steven, with people like Preston. So I was able to network and mastermind with those people, and my life changed completely at the point that during 2019, I was able to do 1.2 million, but it wasn't always rainbows and butterflies, right? I had a lot of problems. I had holds, like PayPal held my money for 180 days. I got shut down, and they got around 70% of my working capital at that time, which was huge for me. It was a lot of money for me. But I had like money in my bank account that I knew that I could use to grow my business again. And that's what I did. Like some people would actually send everything, like didn't do anything, or how do you say that? Like if sometimes when you get holds, you have two options. You can continue or you can stop. And for me, I decided to continue just because I knew that I can get success even if I had a small capital, working capital. And with that capital, like I changed my life. Like so right now, it's very different. Like
I think people need to understand too that it's not, life isn't the same in Colombia as is in the US. Like in the US, if you get in that same situation, you just go to the bank and get a loan, like a personal loan for like 50, 100K. It's super easy. In Colombia, how hard is it to go and get a personal loan? Even if you have like revenues and the US company, everything, it doesn't matter, right? It's like you could do it. It's just way harder. And the interest rate's probably insane. If you do get it, you're going to be paying like 20%, right?
Correct. Yeah, and for me, like, I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of issues, but something that differentiates myself from most of the people is that I'm willing to go as far as I need to go to solve the problem. So I don't focus on problems, I focus on solutions. And how can I like be more productive? How can I solve this problem easier? And even if I have to join like masterminds just to meet the right kind of people so I can continue with my journey, I'm gonna go that deep and that hard just to find a solution, because that's what differentiates myself from most of the people. Like I'm willing to do the job, I'm willing to spend money to meet people, to get systems, to have the answer, because I know that if I invest my money joining masterminds, I'm gonna find the solution there that it's gonna allow me to make even more money that I paid for to join those masterminds. So that's why I do it. I still do it. I'm a student. I'm still learning from a lot of different people right now. And this is something that never ends. Like you need to be a student, keep learning, keep studying, and keep taking action. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
So I'm sure a lot of people listening right now, whether they're thinking about e-com, they're in e-com, maybe they're doing well, they're not. I'm a big believer in joining mastermind programs. Like I just joined Alex Fedidos's group, like I mentioned to you earlier, like a month ago, and I'm years deep into this. I've done pretty good numbers, not crazy numbers, but pretty good numbers. Like I've got a ton of experience, and I still see the value in, and I did it for the networking connections. I wasn't coming to them to save me, right? Like, so I think that this is something important to share too. Most masterminds won't save you, right? So just out of curiosity, out of all the masterminds you have joined, how many of them weren't worth it? Because I found a percentage of mine sometimes weren't, and sometimes I didn't get any connections. But I find that if you, let's say you join 10 groups, 5, 6, 7 of them, you'll get at least connections, or you'll get one or two strategies if you look for it and you put it into action, that you've 2x, 3x, 5x your money back. right? What
Right.
have you found the same kind of experience?
Yeah, like there are some courses and masterminds that are not worth it. I'm not gonna lie, like that you don't find either information, strategies, or that you cannot network. But there are some that actually, when you join them, and with only one tip, one strategy, you can get your money back and 10x the thing that you're
Instantly,
doing.
sometimes.
Yeah. So it's not like it's not I'm not telling you guys not to join masterminds. I'm actually encouraging you to join masterminds because that's the way to do it. That's the way to meet people, to get new strategies, to get to know like how they're doing it, why they are having success. And the only way to do it is investing in masterminds. And sometimes I don't even do it just for the information, because I'm at the point that I don't need new information. Like sometimes I do need information, but I mostly join in masterminds just to network with the people inside the masterminds. Because if you can meet people who is actually investing money in themselves, and a huge amount of money, you will get experiences, you will get strategies, you will get to meet the people, network with the people, and that's worth it even more than the money that you pay to join the masterminds.
And let's talk about what you're doing now, because I know you're working with a lot of different people in Latin America mainly, and you found out some pretty unique ways of creating large margins, a lot of success, and then also helping others do the same in countries like Colombia, Chile, Mexico. So give us an idea of what's working in those countries. Like, why is that a unique opportunity today, whereas maybe 3 years ago the US market was where all the gold rush was?
So Latin American markets are like virgin markets. There are huge opportunity and more for the people that actually have experience in dropshipping and in e-commerce, because they can and they have the ability to dominate those markets. There are not huge barriers of entry. You will only need like a local processor or a payment processor that allows you to charge in local currency, and that's going to be the only thing that you need. In regards of still doing dropshipping from China, yes, you can do it. It's going to take probably between 20 to 40 days for the packages to arrive to the clients. But you can, if you have a good customer service and if you have a good system in place, customers can wait, and they don't really care if it takes 1 month, 2 months, as long as you are updating them on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. And for my students, we are dominating most of the Latin American markets. Like we are in Colombia, we are in Chile, Mexico, Ecuador, Peru, even in Argentina. These markets have a huge opportunity for all the people. Like you will need to have your store in Spanish, of course. You will need to find a way to get the local payment processor to be able to operate. But as soon as you do it, it's a matter of putting more money on traffic and then scaling your business to the moon, because it's super simple to do it. Yes, you will need to have a customer service team, because there's something called novedades, which I don't know how to say that in English, but if you have a system in place to manage the novedades, those novedades came up as a returns. Instead of that, you will be making more money on the novedades because the margins are crazy here. And man, it's only a matter of having a good team in place to operate in these markets.
What type of margins are you finding in those markets? At what scale?
So at scaling, you can get up to 30 to 40% net profit at the end of the month if you have a good system in place. So it still have a huge opportunity, huge potential, even for the people that don't actually speak Spanish, because you will only need to get like you can hire people in Venezuela, hire people.
You need translators. Yeah,
absolutely. And the wages is not that crazy here. Like people think that you will need to pay a lot to get a good worker in your company, and that's not the case in Colombia. In Colombia, you can find very good people, very talented people, and you only pay them $500 dollars a month, which is nothing to have them on your team, to have them making money for you. So it is an investment, not a gasto. How do you say gasto?
A cost. Yeah.
A cost. Yeah.
Yeah. So what?
It is more costly not to have them than to have them.
What's your cost per purchase on average?
It goes between like 20 cents to $3 most of the time. And I have margins around $50, like to be able to spend as much as 50 to make a sale and be in zeros. And my average cost per purchase is $3 to $5, which is nothing.
It's what the US market was in 2015, 2016, basically, right?
Correct.
But it's hard.
Correct.
It's harder in some ways to get in because you need those merchants. And if you don't have the logistics, the customer service and the merchants, which takes it can be a lot of work, right? Especially if you don't speak Spanish.
Correct.
So that's your competitive edge, man. I think this is awesome. I think it's super cool. And I think, it's funny. People are going to watch this video. They're going to be like, oh, that's cool. And they're not going to do anything about it. Just like,
I know.
Because I say that because I do Europe now, which is getting harder for sure. And I had guys telling me to do Europe 2 years ago. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. I was like, I'm comfy in the US market. And now I'm like kicking myself that I didn't jump on EU even a year ago, So
absolutely. But you know why that happens? Because when you pay attention, and people don't take action on free information, and that's what happens. And I learned this when I joined one of the masterminds that I paid $10K, and I asked the guy why people don't take action on the free information, and he was like, "Man, when you pay attention." And this changes everything for me, because that I knew that when I pay, the information was good, and I only needed to take action on that information to get results. And that's what I'm saying. Like, please take action even on free information. Just test it for yourself, see if it works. If it doesn't, just find how to find the solution.
There's a way.
How to make it work.
You're doing it, so it's possible, and you're helping other people do it, right? Like you told me one story about a guy that I forget the word in Spanish, but his job was to carry heavy things, right? He lost his job during the pandemic, and then now he's making $60,000 a month. He went from making $200 a month, right?
He went from making like close to zero to $60K a month every single month. And here in Colombia, he doesn't sell anywhere. He sells only in Colombia. And it's crazy, like, to find people like this guy. I also have one of my students. He used to be a delivery guy here at Rappi. He has only 20 years old. He joined my course pretty much 1 year ago. Like, my course has been in the market for 1 year only, and he has crossed the 1 million mark, $1 million in sales here in Colombia, and he's only 20 years old, which is crazy. And you can see the opportunity. If you don't see the opportunity with this kind of stories, I don't know how to make it
to put that into perspective for people in the US, for example, listen to this. That feels like making $3 to $4 million with our cost of living here. So like, let that sink in. That's awesome, man. Like I'd be so wealthy making $1 million in living in Colombia with cost of living and living a good Colombian life too.
Yeah, Colombia is a super cheap country to live in. I'm not gonna lie.
Awesome.
Like I live like a king, and it's super cheap. It's super nice, and man, there's still a lot of opportunity for people who actually wants to join this market and crush it.
So if someone were to act on this now, the very, very small percentage that will actually do something after watching this, what would be the bullet point steps that you would give them, like the 7 steps to get into this kind of unique opportunity today?
I guess so. First, it's gonna be take action, take massive imperfect action. That's gonna be the way to do anything like related to businesses, but also spend money, invest money, learning how to do it in a system that actually works. I do have my system, and I'm gonna give you my link, my private link, because my course is closed at the moment, but I'm gonna give you one link that people could use if they want to join my course, and then they will be able to find the whole system, how to do it, how to implement it step by step. It's gonna be like, it's gonna work either if you decide to go to Chile, Colombia, Peru, Mexico, etc., etc. It's gonna work in any country. It's a matter of taking action. Of course, it's in Spanish, so if people would like to join or have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook. I'll be happy to answer any questions, and then I'll be happy to have them on my course and my mastermind.
Are you offering private coaching on how to do this in English?
I don't, but if there's an opportunity and the guy is actually committed to do it, I'll be happy to think it and see if we can work it out.
Cool. Awesome, guys. How else can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram. It is David Moreno ecom _, and on Facebook, David Moreno. And I have also a free Facebook group, which is called Secretos de Dropshipping in Español, which is Dropshipping Secrets in Spanish.
What else do you want people to know, man, about you or about e-commerce, or what other fun stuff do you want to share?
Man, to be honest, like, this is a market that is actually growing. It's not like people say that there's a lot of people already and that you cannot make any money. That's the people that actually don't make any money because they don't know how to do it. So there's still a huge opportunity. And if this Colombian guy can do it, you can do it. Like, there's no way you cannot do it. Even for the people in the US, guys, take action. You have a huge opportunity against other people just because you guys earn money in US dollars. You have merchants, you have the social security number, you have everything you need to be successful with e-commerce. So take action. That's what I recommend, and that's why, like, I suggest to do it.
And to finish, I know I'm throwing this at you, man, but any inspirational things you want to share, or any short stories to get people fired up to do something if this is the thing for them?
If you think that this is the thing for you, just take action. Like, there's no other way to do it. I know that some people are afraid to take action, but if you are afraid, do it even though you are afraid, because that's the only way you're gonna have success, and that's the only way you're gonna have results. So take action. Please take action and do it for yourself. I already made it. John already made it. My students are crushing it. It's a matter of you looking around, see other people having success, believe that you can do it, and take action. That's the only thing that I can say. Like, there's no other way.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for joining us today, brother. We'll have you on again in the future and keep us updated, all right?
La estamos rompiendo.
Nos estamos rompiendo.
Rompiendo.